Welcome to The Mothers, a podcast that centers the voices of women from across America whose children were killed by police. I'm independent journalist Georgia Fort.
And I'm Nico Georgiadis from Unicorn Riot. During this episode, we hear from Lisa Simpson, whose 18-year-old son, Risher, was killed in California by an officer with the Los Angeles Police Department.
Richard was killed July 25th, 2016, in the Nickerson Gardens Housing Development.
I first got on the scene, I drove 88 miles to where my baby had got killed at. They told me my son got killed in friendly fire. The chief of 108th Precinct came over to me and said, "Oh, it's gonna be a long time." I told him, I said, "What is time when I got a dead child?" So from it being going from him getting killed in friendly fire because I refused to leave, the next day he was a suspect. Can't tell me what he a suspect of though. They only let me see from my son's chin to his forehead. And I had been out there since 1 o'clock in the morning. I done seen my baby to about 15 minutes before 10. Chin to the forehead, that's it. Don't have a police report, don't have an autopsy report, got a death certificate that say my son was 28. When they killed him, he was only 18. And when it say at the bottom who he was killed by, it say killed by another person. LAPD's another person? No, tell the truth. That's all I wanted from the beginning was the truth.
Police allege that around 11 p.m., officers were patrolling the Nickerson Gardens, and they saw a group of people who they assumed were affiliated with a gang, and that they were responsible for a string of recent shootings in that neighborhood.
The officers on patrol stopped to investigate, at least that's what they say, citing what they called a preliminary investigation. Out of the group, one man, later identified as Risher, began to run. Now, there's no body camera of this incident, so this account is just according to police documents. The police say that Richard turned around and started shooting at the officers.
They have the discretion to say if your child lived to see the next day or not. You feel me? It ain't like they got a choice. My son had his hands up. He never looked back at him or nothing. When he discovered he was hit, he went to reach for his side and say, "I'm hit." And you aired him out for saying he was hit. So you already knew when you came through your second rounds in that project, in your mind, you already had the mind state, I'm gonna kill somebody tonight before I go home. You ain't finna tell me that just, your mind just clicked like that, okay, it's killing time. No, you already got that mental. Y'all wanna go see psychiatrists after you killed my son? Why you wasn't seeing a psychiatrist before you killed my son? You had issues before you even killed him. Then y'all say the killer is a rookie? He been on the force 6 years. What's rookie about that? How did you become a rookie after 6 years? And it's like a slap in the face to a mother. You kill her kid and then you get a promotion. They send these legislations to these mothers and make them feel like that it's going to be glory in the morning. Giving them false hope, and then when it all comes down, that's more extra stress that's crashing down on the person at one time.
That was Lisa speaking. Now, one thing that stood out to me about Lisa's journey was, she, as many mothers, they have a lot of people coming at them when they have a son or a child killed by police. Right. You have lawyers coming at you. You have activists coming at you. You have sometimes politicians coming at you. Sometimes these moms are used. Sometimes other organizations are able to reap benefits off of Black death, off of Richard's death, as in the case of Lisa, where she spoke about some of these incidences she had. There's a lot of talk lately, specifically about Black Lives Matter National Organization, and her incident happened with Black Lives Matter Los Angeles.
Yeah, this is extremely troubling, problematic on so many levels, and you hate to think that someone would intentionally use a mother who is grieving in this way. Take a listen to Lisa and hear her account of what happened after her son was killed by police.
And then you got the activists, the movements, the networks, and the orgs. These people that's donating money, they don't know who they donating their money to. They thinking I'm gonna donate this because they say they fighting for this parent. Oh, this parent gonna be okay. No, that's not the scenario. They eating and us parents is starving. So I try to encourage all my donors, if you're gonna help the parent, help the parent. Send the money to the parent. You know what a company told me? They was looking for somebody last year for a tax write-off. I told the lady, well, I got a lot of mothers that's in the system that's struggling, that's homeless, and they need some help. Oh, well, my company, they won't give no money to a parent. They have to give it to an organization so they can have a tax write-off. But you giving these thousands and thousands of dollars to this organization, and guess what? That mama's still homeless. That mama still don't got no help. But that organization then built off that mother pain and got paid off that mother pain. A lot of these organizations already got a secret hidden agenda that they already been working on, but they ain't got the means to get it off the ground. I call them amalam chasers, because they around you when your kid died, but as soon as you bury them, you never see them again. I got 4 other children that none of these activist movements and networks don't even know. They ain't never did nothing for my family. They robbed me. Black Lives Matter robbed me. July 25th, 2016, my son died. August the 11th, I buried my son. August the 19 days after I buried my son, so that was August the 30th. Jill Stein, the presidential Green Party candidate, came to California to stand in solidarity with me. She went up in the Mayor Garcetti office for him to come out and talk to me. They dipped him out the back door. They did an interview with me. It's on Google and everything. You can see it. Melina Abdullah from Los Angeles, Black Lives Matter, told the people they can pay $5,000, $10,000, or $5,000. No mother should have to burden the burial of her son. The cold part about it is my son was already buried in a wall. They kicked me out the encampment the next day and never gave me none of that money. Jill Stein asked him on the interview, so Lisa, these people can send this to Lisa so she could be able to bury her son, right? Yeah. Oh, they told all kind of little places where I'm gonna get the money. Never got it. I found out on my son's 2nd death anniversary, a day before, that one of my comrades had donated some money to the cause. He asked me, did I get it? I said, what money? He said, yeah, they raised money to bury your son. Well, my son was already in the wall when they raised this money. I still owe the morgue $3,500 because I didn't never bury the kid before. I didn't know that you pay the morgue separately. I thought everything was included with the cemetery. The day of me burying my son, I was $1,300 short. The family had to come back out their pocket again to give me the rest of the money to bury my son. So I'm not money hungry, but how can I sit here and allow an entity to take from the death of my son and then you badmouth me all in this struggle? Why? Because you robbed me and I told the world you robbed me, so you mad? Cold part about it, after they robbed me, a year later, I had a meeting with them for them to so-called try to make it right. You didn't bring no check with you, so you knew already you wasn't making it right. I'm tired of all these people getting paid off our pain. Don't tell the world that you for the mothers and all that when that's not really your true motive. You already got a secret hidden agenda, but you need our story to make that pot of stew flavorful. And once you get what you want out of the death of our kids, you fall back, because now you got enough money to open up what you was already trying to open in the first place.
Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here.
You're listening to episode 9 of the Mothers Podcast, presented by Unicorn Riot, featuring host Georgia Fort and myself, Nico Georgiadis. Music in this episode is by DJ Skiz, raps by MC Longshot, recording by Malcolm Wells, and post-production by Different Worlds Music.
In this incident, we should ask ourselves, what crime did Richard commit? Why was it imperative for the police to chase him? So you just roll up with an assumption that someone has done something without any evidence. You know, and so I just think that this is extremely problematic, not only just the way that Richard was approached, but also that we don't have a video account of what happened.
And that's what we continually see and hear. We hear the police narrative be the first narrative, also then regurgitated in the media, as we talked about in other episodes. And you know, body cameras aren't all the solution to end all, but because as we see, even with recent cases of mere lock, it doesn't prevent the officer from killing, but it does provide some kind of, as you said, transparency, some kind of account beyond what's written or said by the police, who a lot of times it seems during these incidents, they can't be trusted in what they say. And it seems like also in this situation, you can tell it was sort of a stop and frisk type of situation where you have a group of friends, they might be minding their own business, and the police then come across them. And sometimes you don't know what you're gonna deal with. So in this case, Richard, he may have ran. Does this type of situation where the police do stop and frisk moves, broken windows type of policing, is this a frequented policy in other neighborhoods besides, some of these urban situations where the police over-police these neighborhoods?
I mean, I think we know the answer to that. The communities that are over-policed are subject to this kind of treatment. They're subject to guilty until proven innocent, because even in the accounts from police in the situation, there was an assumption that Richard was a part of a gang.
Yep.
And so when you approach a group of Black individuals, assuming they're a part of a gang, you're going to fear for your life. You're going to think that they're going to be violent. You're coming into it with an implicit bias.
Always finna fight, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, mothers never go away. They always finna fight, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, mothers never go away. I said they always finna fight, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, mothers never go away. They always finna fight, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, mothers always gone. July 25th. 2016, police kill Richard Risher, a skinny Black teen, get the kid 35 shots to his tiny frame, and now the whole family ripped apart. They'll never be the same, and all he did was run from the most notorious gang. LAPD hella greasy, 70 shots rang, and the most disgusting is they had the wrong kid, didn't even see his damn face, but mama surely did, and now she gotta answer. What would you do if your son was the fatal victim of a crooked cop's gun? She would've paid $1 million for Rich to end in cuffs. Could he still be alive? But for them, that's not enough. You see, the police terrorism is how they hope to cause a schism. But nothing could deter a mother like Lisa Simpson or the others in the everlasting fight for some justice. I bet for all mothers at times, the feel it's just us. Always finna fight, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, mothers never go away. They always finna fight, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, mothers never go away. I say they always finna fight, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, mothers never go away. They always finna fight, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, mothers always gonna love you. We always gonna love you. We always gonna love you. We always gonna love you. Never gonna forget you.
That was MC Longshot with an exclusive track for this podcast called Lisa Simpson.
Thanks, MC Longshot, another banger. Again, each song in each episode is an exclusive track made for this podcast series. There's been so many discussions and legislative proposals on how to address police killings, especially since George Floyd was killed. They had the proposal for the George Floyd Act. Now it seems like even locally, a lot of people who get killed, there's a new act that might be in their name to try to change some of these legislation. As was brought up by you, how many more Black folks must get killed for change to happen? Well, we think it's important to hear from the families directly impacted. So that's why we asked Lisa to share her thoughts on more potential solutions for policing in America.
They asked me, what do I think will be the solution for police in our communities? I said, you want me to tell you the truth, or you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Oh, we want you to tell you the truth. I said, check this out. We don't need y'all police in our communities. We got strong brothers and sisters of all denominations in our communities that can police our own communities. Because see, when y'all come in our communities, y'all killing us in our communities. Y'all ain't policing shit. I said, to keep it real with me, I feel like the whole system needs to be abolished, because guess what? It was built wrong. They say reform. You can't reform something that was already crooked when you first built it. The only thing you can do to this system is knock it down from the roots. These is bad roots that they built this system on. How do you sit up here and every day you see on the news, you never hear not one legislator, not one politician, not these people that's running to get in these offices say one time, y'all need to cease fire on killing these kids, because guess what? It's not important to them. The death of our kids means nothing to this society. What I'm saying is our youth is our future. Y'all killing off our future before our future get a chance to be a future. I'm 50 years old next week. I don't want to work at McDonald's. That's why we need these kids. But y'all killing our kids and silencing them, and then y'all go out there and put out a horrible narrative about a kid you don't even know. You never met him before, he ain't a familiar face, but you can go out there and say all the negative things about that kid and get a police officer the most high joy that you can find. Because in their mind, the first thing they gonna say, I was in fear of my life.
Thank you for listening to episode 9 of the Mothers Podcast.
You can find all of the episodes at unicornriot.ninja/The Mothers.
And to find out more about my work as an independent journalist, head over to my website, georgiafort.com.
You can follow my work, Nico Georgiadis, at Mr. Nico G on social media and nicog.work.
Audio recording and engineering by Malcolm Wells. You can find my work at stonywells.com and at stonywells on social media, STONYWELLZ.
What up? This is Longshot, and I provided the raps for the Mothers Podcast. You can support me and my work at mclongshot.com. Peace.
My name is Tariq Thornton. I help edit and produce along with DJ Skiz for Different Worlds Music Group. Peace.
My name is DJ Skiz. I made all the beats as well as did the mixing and editing of the Mothers Podcast. You can check me out on social media at DJ Skiz, DJSKIZZ, or at djskizbeats.com.
You could also follow Unicorn Riot across social media platforms and find our work at unicornriot.ninja. Unicorn Riot is a 501c3 educational nonprofit media organization dedicated to engaging and amplifying the stories of social and environmental struggles from the ground up. Support our work at unicornriot.ninja/donate.
Part of the funding for this podcast is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Metropolitan Regional Arts Council, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.